Hey everybody, welcome back to the Preacher Boys podcast. Today I am sharing some updates relating to Jack Trieber and North Valley Baptist Church. Now, for those of you who've been listening to the show for a long time, you might remember that in 2024, Pastor Jack Trieber settled a lawsuit for an undisclosed amount after two women pursued legal action against his ministry, North Valley Baptist Church, and Mike Strouf, who also happens to be Jack Trieber's brother-in-law. The lawsuit detailed horrifying allegations of abuse and cover-up, with plaintiffs claiming that Trieber personally orchestrated efforts to protect Strouf and silence victims. I documented this story thoroughly as it was happening and covered that here on the podcast. You can certainly go listen to those past episodes. But since then, there's been a couple of new updates. Just a couple days ago, my friend Joshua Sanford, who is also a former member of North Valley Baptist Church, forwarded me a series of emails that his brother Paul had sent to government officials in Santa Clara County. The email was addressed to the mayor, the city council, the city manager, and the Magical Bridge Foundation CEO and founder. It read, "I hope you're well. I request your consideration investigating the Magical Bridge Playground donor, Mike Strouf, team leader of Genesis Team Real Estate. On Saturday, September 28th, 2024, my wife and I were enjoying playing with our 3 children at the Magical Bridge Playground at Santa Clara's Central Park. However, I was disturbed to see Mike Strouf's name listed as a donor on the playground structures, photos attached. Years ago, it was discovered Mike Strouf sexually abused 2 teenage girls when he was a youth pastor at North Valley Baptist Church in Santa Clara. He fathered a child with one of the girls, Kim Craig. For decades, Christina Cheatham and Kim Craig suffered in silence. However, given recent state laws, they have come forward. Attached is the complaint filed in Santa Clara County Superior Court. The church recently settled the lawsuit. Mike Strouf was never criminally charged or held accountable for his immoral actions because he was protected by his brother-in-law, senior pastor Jack Trieber. Unfortunately, the gospel was polluted in this situation because Pastor Trieber pandered to the advice of his family members, and justice was never served for the victims. Please investigate this situation and consider removing the name of Mike Strouf and his business, Genesis Team Real Estate, from the Magical Bridge Playground." Below is a video interview with Christina telling her story. And he attached the interview from the Preacher Boys podcast. On February 20th, 2025, the director of the Parks and Recreation Department for Santa Clara, California, confirmed that Mike Strouf's name had been removed from several marquee signs at the Santa Clara Central Park Magical Bridge Playground. A detail I want you to remember is that in addition to the other officials that were included on this email chain, one of the names that was CC'd was Mayor Lisa Gilmore, but I'll come back to why that's relevant in just a moment. Just 6 days after Mike Strouf's name was removed from several marquees at this local park in Santa Clara, Trieber took to his pulpit to vent, not about the suffering of abuse victims, but about how tough it is for him to keep dealing with lawsuits.
In 2025, let me tell you, it's different pastoring in 2025 than it was in 1975, 50 years ago. It's totally different. It was so easy pastoring back then. But nowadays, it's just, I was talking to a preacher yesterday. He flew in here to see me, and we were here for a while. He flew back out to Chicagoland this morning. And he said, "Brother Trieber, I believe the rest of our ministry, I believe the remainder of our ministry will be filled with nothing but lawsuits." He said, "People sue us all the time." You know, you get a little bit tired of that kind of nonsense. You get tired of dealing with sin. You get tired with dealing with the city, and get tired of having no parking. And you get tired of never having enough money. You get tired of all that. But on the other hand, when God's people encourage you to stay with it, I think I'll go another round.
Rather than showing any remorse for the suffering of abuse victims or acknowledging the role that his leadership played in creating a culture of silence and harm, Trieber framed these lawsuits as an attack on his ministry, an inconvenience that he and other pastors like him simply have to endure. And I'm curious what pastor from the Chicagoland area he was talking to. And I also want you to notice that he never explains to the congregation why he and his pastor friends are constantly getting sued. Since he seems to have forgotten, let's go ahead and remind him really quick. Christina Cheatham and Kimberly Craig alleged that Jack Trieber covered up their abuse at the hands of the church youth pastor, Mike Strouf. Mike Strouf, notably, as I mentioned at the top of the episode, also happens to be Jack Trieber's brother-in-law. Reports about Strouf's behavior date back decades. In 1987 and 1988, Trieber was allegedly made aware of inappropriate contact between Strouf and Christina Cheatham. Had he addressed it then, the lawsuit states, further abuse by Strouf could have been prevented. Instead, Trieber turned a blind eye, and the consequences were devastating. After Craig eventually became pregnant as a teenager with Strouf's child, she says Trieber personally arranged for her move to Indiana, where she was hidden away until she gave birth. Christina shared her story of abuse at the hands of Mike Strouf and the ensuing cover-up on the Preacher Boys podcast, bringing widespread awareness to this issue. Despite all of this information being publicly available, Trieber, in a recent sermon, lashed out at his internet critics, claiming that he has never once covered up abuse. Here's his exact words, so I'm not taking him out of context.
You have to be spiritual. You can't be on the internet and be spiritual. I mean, minding everybody else's business, minding every preacher's message, minding everybody whatever they have done or not done in life. You know, the Bible says about sin, publish it not. Don't publish everybody. You know something about somebody, take it to your grave. I am not suggesting that you cover sin. We have never, I know on the internet says something different, but we have never, ever one time covered sin. Not one time in this ministry. 50 years. I've called the police so many times. I mean, so many times. And I'll say, I'm reporting this. Only 2 times has it come to something, but I'm reporting this sin. I'm reporting this that is a criminal activity. I can recall so many different things where I called the police on through the years. And I give it to them to investigate. No, there's an internet crowd that says, well, Trieber, he covers sin. Well, they're liars. That's what they are. They're liars. Most of them are sodomites and lesbians. I'm just going to tell you what it is. That's exactly what it is. Most that are married have marriages that are troubled. If a man be overtaken in a fault, ye that are spiritual. What are you supposed to do? What's the next word say? Restore.
Despite Trieber's loud proclamations that he has never covered sin, the victim's testimonies share a completely different story. He claims he's never covered up abuse, yet a lawsuit details how he personally arranged for an abuser to move and for a victim to be hidden away. He rails against publishing sin online, yet he has no problem standing at the pulpit and making wild, bigoted accusations about his critics' sexual orientation and even their marital status. And for the record, my marriage is doing just great. It's the same playbook we see from so many pastors that are caught in scandal. Trieber's sermons are a textbook example of DARVO. DARVO is an acronym for a tactic that perpetrators use to avoid being held accountable for their behavior. It stands for deny.
We have never, ever one time covered sin.
Attack.
There's an internet crowd that says, well, Trieber, he covers sin. Well, they're liars.
And reverse victim and offender.
People sue us all the time. You know, you get a little bit tired of that kind of nonsense.
This tactic works a lot more often than it should. Despite North Valley's long history of mishandling abuse and being involved in multiple scandals, Trieber was still just recently honored by the mayor of Santa Clara. On March 3rd, 2025, Mayor Lisa Gilmore presented Trieber and North Valley Baptist Church with an award. Yes, that's the same Mayor Lisa Gilmore who was CC'd on the emails about Mike Strouf's name being removed from public playgrounds. Speaking at the 40th National Pastors and Workers Conference, the mayor praised the church's contributions to the community, commended Trieber for his leadership, and celebrated North Valley's 50th anniversary. The ceremony was full of glowing remarks about the church's impact, completely ignoring the extensive allegations and lawsuits that have followed Trieber's ministry for decades.
One of the things that I thought would be a blessing this year is to have our mayor come and greet you. And Mayor Lisa Gilmore is here, and she's going to come and just say a word of greeting to you. We're grateful for our mayor, grateful for our city council, grateful for our chief of police, and all of that serve us in our city. Santa Clara is a great city, about 40,000 people, and this is a busy lady, but she's taking time to be with you and say a greeting. So, Mayor, we're glad you're here. Come on, give her a big hand, will you please?
Also, a funny side note. I actually had a listener who commented when a video clip of the mayor speaking at North Valley Baptist Church was shared, and they pointed out that it was ironic that Trieber would allow a woman to wear pants on his platform and address the congregation. Considering how vehemently Pastor Trieber and his friends preach against women wearing pants,
we try to promote holiness in the fear of God like the Bible tells us to. No, y'all don't let women sing in the choir that's got on breeches, do you? I said, well, no. I said, do you let your wife go naked to Walmart?
and even go so far as to include in the Golden State Baptist College rulebook that pants and shorts are never allowed. This even applies during any college break, summer, Christmas, etc. These items are never allowed in the dormitory at any time. But I guess when the mayor's there to pump you up, it doesn't really matter what your standards are. Again, I have absolutely no problem with women choosing to wear whatever they would like. But this just goes to point out the hypocrisy of men like Jack Trieber when it benefits them.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you. It's really an honor to be here, but I must admit to something. I cannot sing. So I'm hoping you're not expecting me to do anything up here because I cannot carry a tune. But I have to say, Pastor Trieber, the music, amazing, beautiful. I have chill bumps on my arms because it's just so amazing. The talent here, the passion, the everything about it. I just love being here. So thank you so much. I'm very honored to be here in your 50th year. I understand it's July now. I thought it was starting today, but it's the year of the 50th year of the North Valley Baptist Church. And as we kick off the opening night of your 40th National Pastors and Workers Conference, it's really exciting to be here. I understand we have visitors from all over the country here for the conference. So I want to say, first of all, welcome to the city of Santa Clara. We're so happy to have you here. It's truly amazing to see how all of you have come together as a community to share in your faith. For many years, the North Valley Baptist Church, through your ministries, have served the city of Santa Clara through community, through faith, and through worship. North Valley Baptist Church continues to be a tremendous presence in Santa Clara, and especially in North Santa Clara. It's truly amazing to see what the church has done to expand your facilities here and continue to spread your faith to the local communities and also to provide services to our bilingual communities as well. As you celebrate 50 years of the North Valley Baptist Church, I commend you for your efforts to strengthen your faith and community through all of your ministries, such as music, your youth ministry, adult and children's services. It's clear by attendance in this room and over the past many, many decades, the North Valley Baptist Church has provided strength and support to all of its members and also to our community. I want to thank the leaders of the North Valley Baptist Church, especially Pastor Trieber. And I don't know if he remembers, but I met him almost 40 years ago when I had him sign a lease agreement to Cabrillo Middle School for the North Valley Baptist Church. That was I was younger. He hasn't changed a bit in 40 years. No, perfectly the same. So it's wonderful that I've had a front row seat to see this church grow, develop, and thrive in our city. So on behalf of the city of Santa Clara, Pastor Trieber, I want to present you with a certificate of special mayoral recognition on behalf of your 50th year anniversary and your 40th annual National Pastors and Workers Conference. May I present this to you, Pastor?
Once again, we see how easily institutions, religious and secular alike, sweep serious allegations under the rug when it's convenient. Rather than Trieber facing consequences for his actions, he was literally just handed a trophy by the mayor of Santa Clara and another opportunity to rewrite his story. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to watch some of my other content relating to North Valley Baptist Church, I've linked to them in the show notes of this episode.